This is the story of a dangerous sniper who killed more than 200 terrorists with headshots during the war. He is considered the deadliest sniper in American history, and even today he is known as the legend. The story begins, and we are shown the setting of Iraq. Right now, the situation in Iraq is very bad because al-Qaeda terrorists have made the whole country their home. In the past few months, al-Qaeda terrorists have carried out many attacks in America, in which thousands of people lost their lives. On the other hand, the U.S. has also sent several army units to Iraq because they received intel that the mastermind of all these attacks is hiding there. Every day, operations are being carried out in the city where terrorists are hunted down and killed. During one such mission, we see a sniper named Chris Kyle. Here, Chris is providing cover to his team that has gone out for patrolling. According to the plan, a team of soldiers will search houses to find terrorists, and the sniper team will provide them cover from above. Chris is sitting in his position when his eyes fall on a woman with her child. Chris notices that the woman isn't moving one of her arms, as if she is hiding something. Suddenly, the woman pulls out a grenade and hands it to her child, who then starts walking toward the soldiers. Chris sees this child, but his heart doesn't allow him to shoot. But if he doesn't, many of his fellow soldiers will die. With great reluctance, Chris has no choice but to take the shot. Now the story goes into flashback. This is the time when Chris was a little boy and had gone hunting with his father. He fired a shot and hunted a deer. Excited, he threw away his rifle and ran to see the deer. His father, annoyed, scolded him and taught him that one should always respect their weapons. Years pass, and Chris grows up to be a cowboy. One day when he comes home from work, he finds his girlfriend being intimate with someone else. Seeing this, Chris is completely devastated. He kicks her out of his house and drowns his grief in alcohol. At that moment, he sees the news on TV about al-Qaeda terrorists attacking a U.S. embassy in which many people died. This deeply affects Chris, and suddenly the thought of becoming a soldier comes to his mind. He decides he will become a good U.S. soldier and serve his country. A few days later, Chris goes for the Army interview. Luckily, he gets selected, and his training begins the next day. During training, he has to perform various mental and physical tasks to shape him into a soldier. Many people give up in between because it is so tough, but Chris perseveres until the end. His senior, impressed by his sniping skills, extends his sniper training so he can become even better. After months of hard work, Chris is now ready for the battlefield. He and several others complete the training, and soon they all will be sent off to war. To celebrate, Chris and his friends head to a bar. There, Chris meets a woman named Taya. They enjoy each other's company and start spending more time together. Their friendship quickly turns into love, and eventually they become intimate. One day, Chris sees the news of the 9/11 attacks carried out by al-Qaeda. Soon after, Chris and Taya get married. On their wedding day, Chris receives orders to join the war in Iraq because intel suggests that al-Qaeda's most wanted terrorists are hiding there. Chris is overjoyed that he will finally serve in battle. After his wedding, he departs for Iraq, marking his first tour of duty. Chris is assigned as a sniper for his ability. His role is to protect his team from threats by eliminating enemies from afar. But he is not the only sniper on the field. The U.S. soldiers warn him about an al-Qaeda sniper named Mustafa, who hits targets accurately from 500 yards. He had already killed many U.S. soldiers with headshots, but Chris pays little heed and takes position. Back in real time, Chris ends up shooting the boy carrying the grenade, and then his mother, who tried using it after the boy was killed. Chris feels deep sorrow for killing a woman and a child, but his team appreciates him because his actions saved many lives. The next day, Chris once again takes up his position. He notices a car speeding toward his team. He successfully shoots the driver with a headshot before the car, rigged with explosives, detonates. Once again, Chris saves his teammates. That day, he kills 2 more terrorists. On the same day, we finally see Mustafa, who too takes out a U.S. soldier with a perfect headshot. Within just 3 days in Iraq, Chris had killed 8 terrorists. Impressed by his skills, his fellow soldiers began calling him the legend. Meanwhile, Chris gets news that Taya is pregnant, which makes him happy. Later, Chris's senior briefs the soldiers about Abu Musab al-Zarqawi, the leader of al-Qaeda and mastermind behind the attacks in America. The mission is to hunt him down at any cost. During one operation, Chris and his team encounter civilians. One man offers information about Zarqawi in exchange for a large sum of money. The U.S. agrees, but before the soldiers can act, Zarqawi discovers the man's betrayal and kills him and his son. Mustafa also attacks, killing several more. Chris grows frustrated and vows to take revenge, but his first Iraq tour ends and he goes back home. Despite returning home, Chris's mind remains on the battlefield. He struggles with normal life. When Taya gives birth to their son, Chris still feels disconnected. Soon he is deployed for his second tour. Because of his skills, Chris is promoted to chief, but Zarqawi places a bounty on his head. Chris relentlessly tries to track Zarqawi. Through a series of events, Chris and his team discover Zarqawi's hideout. After setting a trap, they ambush his car, and in the resulting firefight, Zarqawi is killed. Mustafa, furious after hearing Zarqawi's death, vows to kill Chris's entire team. Chris returns from his second tour, but his mind deteriorates further. Taya gives birth to a daughter, and Chris grows increasingly aggressive. He even loses his temper at the hospital. Still, he embarks on his third Iraq tour. During this, his close friend Beagle is gravely injured, and another dear friend, Mark, is killed by Mustafa. Devastated, Chris vows to kill Mustafa one day. Back at home, Chris confesses to Taya that he feels like he too will die soon. Taya pleads with him to leave the army. She warns that if he keeps going back, one day she and the children might not be there when he returns. Despite this, Chris embarks on his fourth tour. Here, Chris finally faces Mustafa one-on-one in an impossible long-range duel. Mustafa positions himself 2,000 yards away, 1.8 kilometers, approximately 2 football fields long. Chris, despite warnings from his team, takes the impossible shot. Miraculously, the bullet travels across the windy distance and hits Mustafa with a perfect headshot, killing him. But Chris's position is exposed, and Al-Qaeda fighters swarm toward them. An airstrike is called in as backup. During this chaos, a major sandstorm hits, reducing visibility, which allows Chris and his team to escape. This ends Chris Kyle's final mission. Afterward, he quits the army and returns home. However, the war leaves a heavy toll on his mind. He imagines danger everywhere and becomes paranoid during normal life. At one moment, he even nearly kills a dog his son was playing with, suspecting it was dangerous. With growing concerns, Chris sees a doctor. The doctor asks if Chris regrets killing 200 people. Chris replies no, because those kills saved his brothers in arms. The doctor then asks if Chris still wants to help people. Chris agrees, and he is introduced to wounded soldiers. By talking with them, Chris feels relieved. Gradually, he begins to heal, spending more time with his family, hunting with his son, and living calmly. But one day, a man claiming to be a soldier asks Chris for help. Chris goes with him in his car. Tragically, that same man shoots and kills him. At the end of the movie, we are shown real-life footage of Chris Kyle's funeral procession, where thousands of Americans gathered to pay tribute to the legend. And with this extraordinary movie ends. I hope you liked the story. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you soon with another great story, but until then, be safe and keep chilling.